We respectfully request the Sangha great virtues for the sake of this assembly and all living beings. Please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach and guide us how to end birth and death, leave suffering and attain bliss, and quickly realize non-birth. Cung thính đại đức tận thịnh, Bi thứ pháp hội cấp nhật thiết chúng sanh, thịnh chuyên nhiều pháp luân giáo đạo ngã môn, như há liêu sanh tỏa tư ly khổ đạc lạc, tất chứng vô sanh. Homage to the Blessed, Noble, and Perfectly Enlightened One. Nam mô Saranto Suchedo Ye La Hodi San Miao San Poto Sie. Nam mô Tát Tát Tha Tô Già Đà Già A La Ha Đế Tam Miệu Tam Bồ Đà Tọa. The unsurpassed, profound, subtle, and wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million aeons is difficult to encounter. Now that I'm able to see and hear, I will receive and maintain it. I vow to fathom the thus come one's true and actual principles. Wu shang sheng sheng wei miao va bai qian wan jie nan zao yu wo jin jie wen de shou qi Yuan Jie Ru Lai Zhen Shi Yi. All Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Great Master Qingyang, Great Master Shenhua, all good monks and nuns, and all good known advisors, Amitabha. 诸佛菩萨、金刚大士、师父上人、各位出家人、各位善知识，弥陀佛。Chư Phật Bồ Tát, kính thưa Thanh Lương Đại Sư, Hòa Thượng Thiên Hóa, quý thầy cô và quý vị thiện tri thức A Di Đà Phật. Hello everyone, today is the 1st of December, it's almost the end of the year already, 2023. We're here at Wei Mountain Temple to continue discussing the prologue to the Avatamsaka Sutra. We are right now on slide 657. Thank you all for coming to join us. We are in the first week towards the end, I think the beginning of the second week of the 5-week Chanchi here at Wei Mountain Temple. And so we're glad that all of you can make it to this sutra lecture. And this is kind of unusual in our tradition. Master Shenhua, where I learned this Chanchi Dharma from, they would not have sutra lectures at all during the Chanchi. Maybe for good reason, because no one could really lecture sutras at all. Okay, I decided to do it, and because I'm still alive and kicking for a while, But when I get older, I may decide not to do it anymore. I know. I'd be imprisoned in my little room where my disciples no longer want me to see anyone and transfer title of all the properties to anyone else. That's what happens to us. But anyway, as long as I'm here, thank you very much. We might as well learn about wisdom together more, because I'm learning myself as well. This is the second time I'm going through this. The first time I read it ages ago, and I didn't understand a darn thing. I only understood the English part, but didn't understand the principles at all. I was actually frightened. And so we're here because of you, not because of me. I'm learning, I'm trying to keep up with your rate of progress. You are very impressive. Your progress is frightening. So after I'm done, you guys can go back to the original style of Chanchi Watao lectures if you wish. But since we're here together, this is a chance for me to spend more time on studying more of the sutras and with you, and maybe share it with whoever wants to listen to our very limited and shallow understanding of sutras. Okay, but thank you all for coming. I know that some of you took some time off to come here and to be with the Chanchi, or to come here in the evening lectures and tuning and so forth. I appreciate it. Without you, we won't be doing this at all. We wouldn't be doing this. So we're simply doing this because of you. So credits goes to you, okay, for making the effort, and thank you for that. It gives me a reason to continue to breathe for a while. Why am I so emotional today? Maybe some of you are leaving after a week. Huh? Some of them are leaving. Huh? Plato is leaving, Ted's leaving, Katrina is leaving, and so forth tomorrow. Huh? Yeah? Oh, well, we enjoyed having you. But we're not over it. You'll be back. I hope you'll come back. Huh? Thank you. Thank you for coming. Okay, 6:57. Anyone has any questions before we get started? Anything you'd like to ask? Yes, too, please.
제가요, 단식을 해도 될까요? 컨디션은 좋아졌고요. 기침은 조금 있습니다.
Wow, this lady now has more qi than she normally has in Korea. Have you been fasting or no?
단식을 5일 보산사에서 한 적 있고 또 3일도 한 적 있습니다.
Master, I want to ask you about my fasting. My condition is good. I'm still coughing. Can I start my fasting?
Yeah, you can. Okay.
감사합니다.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, anyone else? Yes, 5. How's your leg?
Oh, it's much better now, Master. I was going to the doctor, and I go back on Monday, too.
Back to work on Monday?
And back to the doctor and physical therapy on Monday, too.
Physical therapy. Okay, so how long have you do this? Physical therapy?
It's going to be a couple more weeks, and then back to
Next evaluation.
gradually back into hardcore Amazon.
Hardcore Amazon. I see. Wow. That's rather fast, isn't it? The healing?
That's a fast Chan recovery right there. What it was.
Okay. Okay. Good luck to you. Huh?
So I had a question about the Medicine Master Buddha plaque, and I want to get one for someone soon for the 1 month.
Okay.
So my question is, with that, would they have the possibility to encounter the profound Dharma, not in this life, but maybe next life, some possibility?
For sure. What we're doing is to try to plant the seeds for all of you, so that the seeds For example, tonight we're discussing this prologue to the Avatamsaka Sutra. This is a very high level of Buddhism theory. And so in doing this, we are increasing our wisdom, hopefully, but also we are planting incredible Vajra seeds of great wisdom in all of us, me included, okay? And that's very beneficial for all of us, as well as what we're doing, all you're doing as well. You have a part in this as well, is that we are giving away these blessings to the people who ask for help. So these Mahayana seeds, these Mahayana blessings are shared among all the people involved with us. Okay? Not just blacks, but also the Dharma protectors, well-wishers, people who tune in and support us in even ways that we don't know about, well-wishers, and all those people, they're going to have a share of all this. Okay? And these seeds are very, very critical, folks. This is why Master Hsuan-Hua did this when he was alive for his generation. Okay? And I wasn't part of that, unfortunately, but we have this heritage, this bequeath teaching through the tapes and the recordings and the translation of his teachings. Therefore, we all are learning from that as well. Okay, and so this is very important because we in the West are lagging behind the Chinese. The Chinese, I notice, I've been teaching for almost 2 decades now. Here I go getting emotional again. When you get older, you become emotional too, young man. Okay? And you realize time is really short nowadays. So I realized that I watched the kinds of students who have been able to benefit from our training, our teachings. And I found, for example, the Asians have tremendous good roots. I'm talking about the people who encountered us in the past, all sorts of Asian ethnicities, and they're drawn to it, and they blossom very, very quickly, okay? Because of the prior blessings as well. Whereas the Westerners who have not been exposed to Mahayana, have not planted the seeds of Mahayana in the past, they struggle mightily. Okay, even Master Hsuan-Hua's his white disciple, pale-faced disciples. White sounds so discriminatory, don't you think? Pale-face is much more friendly. You don't know? Let's hear from the expert.
Thank you, Master. I appreciate you asking, and for Malcolm and I, our casual greeting is, well, hey there, my bright white brother Malcolm. and and he says, how's it going, paleface? So take it for what it's worth. Yeah, I think it's totally copacetic.
Okay. So it's because the Asians, even the pale-faced disciples of Master Hsuan-Hua, actually were with Master Hsuan-Hua already. That's why they're there. But if the authentic pale-faced people, they really don't have the great roots that we have for Asians. I'm sorry, I'm sound discriminatory, but that's the way it is. Okay, you don't want to hear the truth, tune out. Okay, so that's the whole point. So my point here is that We need to help these poor, pale-faced people catch up. Yeah? Okay? And and also any other ethnicities, blackface, redface. Why? It doesn't sound good. Anyway, I'm racist. What else can I say? So Master Shinhua's fault that I'm so bitter. Never mind. It's always the parents' fault, you know. All right. So that's why we cannot see this, understand this, and let it go. And say, I'm going to do only, you know, for the Asians, and never mind about, you know, the other skin colors, people, or non. Is white a color?
Oh, thank you for asking, Master. Malcolm and I were discussing that earlier too, and in addition to our normal greeting, we now say,
Isn't that amazing how great minds meet here at Wei Mountain Temple?
we were complimenting each other on our lack of color. And then Vanilla Ice is kind of, you know, bright white baby. Dun 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 dun. Right. I digress.
See the weak. Yes, yes, 3.
Thank you, Master. I believe it or not, I have a question.
No.
Yeah, I know it. Okay, so my question is, we are learning from you American Mahayana, and American Mahayana has the emphasis about sudden teaching and sudden enlightenment, if I'm correct, from what I remember. So, is that going to be a hallmark of American Mahayana as we go forward?
American Mahayana does not discriminate whether it's gradual teaching or sudden teaching. I call it American Mahayana because I want to differentiate myself from my peers. The teaching they receive and practice is basically Master Shinhua's Mahayana from China. And for some reason, he chose not to teach them a whole lot of sudden teaching at all. Okay? So actually, the sudden teaching I'm teaching you came from a 6th patriarch. Because I saw how he came and taught me once. I said, oh, that's how you do sudden teaching. And we've been studying the 6th patriarch sutra, so we've been learning more and more about sudden teaching. But as far as my experience with Master Shinhua, he never gave me the sudden teaching, and that's consistent with all his teachings. Actually, it's important he did not give him a sudden teaching, but he had to spend a lot of time establishing the gradual teaching. Okay, and so we could build upon that. So I'm calling it American Mahayana for now, but eventually, in 100 years, it's just Mahayana. Okay, because our Mahayana will be for China, for Vietnam, for Korea, for Europe, for everywhere. Okay, and we no longer have to differentiate. But for now, because them people claim to be the storekeepers of Mahayana, I need to classify them from my own perspective of your reference, that theirs is Chinese from Master Shinhua, ours goes beyond that. Okay, it's for you to choose. Should you follow them? That's fine. It works very well. Okay, you follow us, you see there's a difference. Okay, and so that's why we use these words for now, because we're starting something new, and because I'm tired of hearing others claim that they are sole custody of Mahayana. Okay, they may have custody of gradual Mahayana, but not sudden Mahayana. I don't see it in their training or in their work or in their accomplishments. At their levels, there's no way for them to understand sudden teaching. Maybe that's why my master never felt it necessary to teach them, to put more emphasis on sudden teaching. In contrast, I look at you, I said, if I do the same thing as Master Xinhua, you'd be stuck just like them. So it's not acceptable to me. Okay, so that's why we're doing this. As I was saying, it's very important for us to catch up with it. When I call it American Mahayana, because I want you to choose subconsciously. You want to go Chinese style, Korean style, Myanmar style, whatever, that's fine. They have their own, they call their own already. They said, this is Korean Buddhism, for example. This is Chinese Buddhism, for example. Okay? They're very proud of that, and they're right. Okay? But we really don't have American Mahayana yet. The Mahayana Master Hsuan brought is actually Chinese Mahayana, explained in Chinese, okay, to an American audience. Okay, we explain Mahayana in English to everyone. Okay, and so it's very important for me that we try to do is to help you plant the seeds. They have great seeds. The Chinese, the Koreans, the Asians have a lot of great seeds. The Indians have a lot of great seeds in Mahayana because of their long history of Mahayana over there. So if we were to play catch up with them, if we follow Master Hsuan, who only, basically to me, predominantly gradual teaching, then we're going to be at the same pace of rate of progress as his own followers. And that's not what I want from you. I want for you is speed up the process. So that's why, yes, we planted the seeds for a lot more advanced Mahayana. Okay? Not because Master Hsuan doesn't know. His level is higher than mine, but because he was encumbered by the kind of disciples he had. Okay? The teaching is bestowed upon you for your benefit, not for the teacher's benefit. So if I give you the same thing he gave his disciples, okay, it's not good enough for you. Okay? So yes, that's why we use words that really are not meaningful in 100 years or so. But for now, I want people to realize there's a difference. I don't want us to be lumped with their interpretation. Okay? Their interpretation is still limited to gradual teaching. I have yet to see any of them understand sudden teaching. Okay? If they want to call themselves custodials of Chinese Mahayana, so be it. We're not the same at all. Okay? We pick up things from a Chinese, from whoever that we can learn from. Indian, whatever. JMT.
네, 왼쪽 발목에 대해서 질문이 있습니다. 지금 현재 5번째 왼쪽 발목에 통증이 있는데요. 왼쪽 발목에 대한 좀 히스토리를 말씀드리면 2년 전에 제가 이제 유산사에서 선치를 할 때 플로터스로 3주를 스케줄을 따르고 이제 할플로터스로 2주를 스케줄을 따르고 더 이상 앉을 수가 없어서 마스터께서 이제 완전히 스케줄에서 빠지고 일을 하라고 했었던 가르침이 있었는데 지금 이제 5번째 왼쪽 발목에 통증이 있어서 그때를 생각해서 그러니까 결과부자를 하지 말아야 되는지 아니면은 좀 더 이렇게 결과부자를 해야 되는지를 질문드립니다.
Sir, I have a pain in my left ankle. This is 5 times. So 2 years ago, when I joined the Chanchi, for 3 weeks I sat in full lotus, and for 2 weeks I sat in half lotus, and then after that I couldn't sit anymore. So I just work. So these days I also have some pain. So in this time, should I sit in full lotus or should not?
Okay, what happened to you? Your English is clearer than the last time. What did you have for lunch today?
Noodle.
Didn't do much to me. Anyway, we ate the same thing, right? Yeah, anyway. Okay, what happened to you anyway? Just let it heal. Don't cross your legs. I'm very conservative. Even my own training, I would push myself, and then I meet my goals, and then of course the body is not used to it, so I would stop and let my body heal before I would continue. Okay, and that's how I train myself. No one told me that, but I feel that Master Shenhua's style of keeping on pushing yourself until it heals itself is not for everyone. Certainly not for me. I don't buy that. Okay, if you are in a forest by yourself, then of course you can do that. But we are not here. You have the conditions are not ideal for you. And also one thing as well, I want you to pay attention as well. I didn't really meet Master Shenhua in person that often to follow his teaching, so I picked up his teachings from the translations. So when I first started, I learned a lot of stuff, which really was amazing to me because no one ever explained it in the kind of level of details, instructions for me to do, or what to do in order to meditate, in order to practice and so forth. And so I was very impressed. So that was my Bible for me. Okay, and one of the things I learned that he said, don't worry about nutrition. Okay, you take care of yourself. After all these years, I happen to disagree with that. The things that work for him, I think would not work for me or for us. Okay, you have to watch your nutrition, especially your kitchen managers. People who eat vegetarians need to have enough calcium, have enough seaweed, whatever, to have the proper vitamins, seaweed, or what is it, the paste, miso paste, okay? We need those. So make sure our diet is balanced enough, because if not, when you get older, your body will suffer, will have more problems, okay? So pay attention to your diet, okay? You need to have a balanced diet, especially for you long-time vegetarian people, okay? You cannot afford to ignore your diet. You have to eat a balanced one, you know? The Gold Force doctor says, eat by colors, red, green, yellow, and so forth, white. All right? So be careful. Please pay attention to the diet. Okay? All right. Anyone else? Okay. 657. The latter two pertain to the different understanding of a single sound. If there is mutual knowing, that is called the unfixed, and if there is no mutual knowing, that is called the secret.
后二谓一因一解，若互相知，名为不定；互不相知，即名秘密。
Okay, here for to remind you of where we are. He is discussing. This section is talking about the stores and the teachings containing it. So he's discussing how the Dharma masters, the Chinese Dharma masters and Indian masters used to classify the Buddha's teachings into different types, 2 types of teachings, 3, 4, and so forth. Right now, we're at the stage where some Dharma masters advocated the entire Buddhist teachings could be classified into 4 groups, okay? 3 store, connective teaching, and separate teaching, and perfect teaching. That the very, very famous one advocated by Master Tutor, very useful way of looking at the teachings and helpful. Okay, so we are looking at the 4 types of teachings that Master Tutor advocated. And also now we have the 4 types of teachings there, and then you also have the 4 methods of teachings. Okay, there's different types of Mahayana instructions, Mahayana concepts and theory, but also 4 different ways of delivering those teachings. Is that clear? What I learned was not explained to me at all. So this is very helpful for me to revisit. Okay? So that's why they called 8 teachings, 4 types of teachings and 4 methods of teachings. Okay? How to deliver these 4 types of teachings. And so we're learning so far, at this point, we're learning about the first 2 already, which are recognized by many Dharma masters, the gradual and a sudden teaching. See, now how it ties back to what we've been learning, okay? And what we've been learning is based on very sound theory, very sound, profound theories, okay? And so the first 2 teachings are gradual and sudden, we talked about, okay? And now the next 2 are unfixed and secret. So far, so good? Okay, very good. So in the text here, commentary slide 658. So the next 2 teachings methods are unfixed and secret. So it means that with one teaching, okay, the results are different. Okay, in what way? When the Buddha taught Buddhism back then, okay, if he taught the teachings, then what happened is that if the teachings, the way was transmitted to us, not just the Buddhas, the patriarchs and teachers and so forth, they're transmitted to us, and if living beings at different levels, they both understand what the other groups are receiving, the benefits they are receiving, then it's called mutual knowing, and therefore that's what he's referring to as unfixed teachings. So even with one sound, the benefits are different for different levels of people. All right, and they are aware of it. They're aware that I'm getting this, but he's getting different things from me, or even better things from me, and so forth. That's called unfixed. All right. Next. And so So depending on who you are, you can depend on your level and your capacity. Then the people who are able to grasp deeper meanings, or some people who are only able to grasp shallower meanings of the teachings, they get their share, but they are aware that others benefits are different from them. Okay, and this is why I said earlier it's very important for us to help you plant those seeds of the great teachings, so that we can more quickly catch up with the Chinese and the Asian in general. The Chinese, for example, they are renouncing their own Asian treasures, okay, trying to pursue the political agenda or the economics agenda, and imitating the Westerners. Okay, and so that's why even though they're not planting great seeds anymore, but the Asians in general have a lot of seeds that are planted in the past, and they will mature if they encounter the proper teaching. That's why I noticed. Okay, and so we're doing this now because we want to plant the great seeds for you, and that's why we explain it as Avatamsaka Sutra. Okay, not only because I enjoy it, but also for your sake, so that your seeds are far better. Okay, than the better seeds possible for you, so that in the proper conditions, they ripen a lot faster, and therefore you get a lot further, all of you. Okay? Yeah. And so, unfortunately for us, so far, what I've seen from you, pale-faced people, is that your great seeds are not that great. Whereas these people, they are like yellow face and brown face, whatever. It doesn't matter the skin color. It's all about the quality of your seeds. Okay? And so that's why we want to differentiate again. You see, you understand now why I said this is my American Mahayana versus Chinese Mahayana. You go there, you plant gradual teaching seeds. Okay? Here, it's certain teaching seeds. Therefore, you catch up a lot faster than them. All right? Okay, so unfixed Dharma is that with one teaching, it varies, the benefits, and they're aware of it. Whereas for secret teaching 660, they don't know about what each is getting. So that's why it's secret. That's all. And I really, frankly, don't know why they have to separate between unfixed and secret. Why? Anyone understands why? I don't. Let me tell you. I don't know why you have to separate, that if she understands what he's getting, that's unfixed. If she doesn't understand what he's getting, that's secret. So what? How does it help me become enlightened? I don't get it. But anyway, that's what's for the scholars to decide. So the secret Dharma is no one knows, okay, what the other guys are getting. So, yes, 5.
Thank you, Master. Does the secret Dharma need to be requested?
Yeah, it's the Dharma has always be always requested before it's bestowed upon you. And this is the principle I need you to be aware of. Don't open your mouth and speak Dharma to your husband before it's asked, to your brother before it's asked. It's none of your business, okay? Unless they ask you in a proper way, you don't have to tell them, and you're not allowed to tell them. You're not supposed to tell them. Okay, so the Dharma in the past, traditionally, we don't speak Dharma until it's requested. Actually, in our precepts of bhikshus and bhikshunis, we are not allowed to speak Dharma to you more than a limited number of words if the Dharma is not requested. Unless the Dharma is requested properly, we don't have to talk to you, and we are not supposed to talk to you. So all we can do is look more adorned so that you're more impressed and give us more donations. That's allowed, but we're not allowed to open our mouth and ask. Yes, 5.
Thank you, Master. So, without mutual understanding, I'm reading the slide behind you. So, without mutual understanding, it becomes a secret Dharma. What's the best way for someone without mutual understanding to properly request?
No, you request the Dharma can be always requested, okay? But the result of what's spoken to you could be that if you understand, but you don't know what the other person understands. That's called secret teaching method. So the teacher decided to separate the two. And to me, it sounds to be discriminatory, which is not very Mahayana Buddhist. To me, and this is why I fail to understand it. I'm missing something, I'm pretty sure. But to me, the teaching is for the sake of everyone. Why should if I were to give it to you, okay? If I had that kind of wisdom, why would I keep it? Prevent you from knowing what the other person is getting. Why would I say that I'd rather that you know that someone is receiving more than you, so that you can go and bug him instead of bugging me. Does it make sense? To me, everything should be unfixed. I have a hard time with secret things. Okay? It seems to me counterproductive. I'd rather you know that the other person is higher level than you, so that, that whatever I tell you, you get so much and the other person gets more because it's a bigger Dharma vessel. So they get more out of it. Therefore, you can go and take advantage of it. Why not? To me, it's just common sense. Everything should be unfixed. I fail to understand the use for secret dharmas. Since when do we discriminate as a teacher? We discriminate against pale-faced because they're not good enough? Yeah, 5.
Master, I don't understand how the wonderful Dharma is like in 100,000 million aeons, so you can't encounter it, but then want to get like 10,000 subscribers on YouTube soon. I just don't understand.
Yeah, you're laughing about it. Yeah, it's easy for you to criticize it. But I would love to have 10,000 subscribers. I can pretend to say I'm not important. I'm not, a numbers guy, but I am deep down. Yes, 5, defend yourself.
Thank you for the opportunity, Master. I would just offer that in the shadow of the great seeds to my left, I can only give YouTube seeds in return. So try and support how we can and give back.
And I know it's easy for you to say it doesn't make sense. Since when we look for numbers and so forth. But numbers matter, folks. Why is that? We can joke about it and say, no, I'm above. I'm not trying to become popular. It's not true. Okay? Wait a minute. I don't know where to go from here. It's not consistent with what I've been preaching. No. We're the next phase. And I'm grateful for you to try your best from your perspective. And I have a chance to then choose when to do it. Okay? You contribute. You advocate things that you feel are important in the spirit of helping others. Okay? And I have to decide when to do that. Okay? With me ignoring this, to be honest with you, I always pray to the Lord, chakra, that I want to be obscure, okay? My peers made sure that I wouldn't have a chance to survive, so it suits me just fine, okay? I have some losers who followed me. I said, okay, you're going to regret it. You're going to be sorry if you follow me. There's no future for you. But they keep on coming and coming for some reason. I don't get it. So my hands are tied, since more and more people come, okay? The upbringing is that I'm supposed to pretend not to discriminate. And therefore, if I said, I only want small number of students, then am I not discriminating against big numbers? Okay? So that's why, okay, I tell you, I don't want a lot of people, and I hate a lot of people. Okay, it's too much work. I'm just ordinary person, small-time monk, and that I'm happy enough. But for some reason, more and more people come, no matter how deliberately I sounded like a clown, like a comedian. I was termed comedian by a guy in San Jose already. He said, he's a monk, really? He sounds like a comedian to me. And 2 weeks later, I tell him that he's not welcome anymore. An arrogant Taiwanese engineer. Yeah, the Taiwanese monk, they're very adorned, they are. And us, we are goofy, like comedians. So for some reason, the goofier we become, the more people like it. Yeah, they're bored to death, I guess, from Netflix and, and stuffy, especially the young Koreans. No, she's not young. The young Koreans here, okay? They come to the temple and they said, there's so many rules at the temple. You're not supposed to wear clothes. You're supposed to walk a certain way. Don't talk too much. Don't be too loud and so forth. And so there's so many rules. The young people say, why do I come here to learn about rules? I'm not learning about Mahayana. People are always telling me to do this, do that. And nothing about the Dharma. Okay? And so they're unhappy. And that's why the young Koreans come to our temples. There's no rules. Anything goes. You can shake hands with the master. He's American. He doesn't know any better. So, and so, for some reason, more and more people come. And therefore, we're at the stage right now, folks. We have to decide. Do we stop right now and say, I'm happy, that's enough? We're not filled up yet. Huh? So, and we're fine. Okay, we at the pace we're going, this will be good for another 5-10 years. Okay? But that again is discrimination. You are discriminating against growth. Okay? So right now, we're at the point where I decided that because of these new people that are joining as Sanghas, and please don't join us anymore. I'm not trying to have more people, okay? Trust me. But if the new people come and join us, in order for me to help them grow and make progress quickly, we need to grow. If they have nothing to do but sit behind the 4 walls here, I give you 4 walls already. Yes, you have plenty of space for you to enclose yourself in a room. I gave you rooms as well, and you can meditate all you want. Okay? Then your pace for you newcomers of progress would be a lot slower than the initial Sanghas. The initial Sanghas was lacking a lot of things, and they had to do everything. We couldn't afford to pay a lot of things, so we had to do it. They had to do everything. Okay, that's how they planted blessings, folks. Okay, without great blessings, you cannot make progress. So that's why at this stage here, if we said we're not going for bigger numbers, then your rate of growth for the newcomers will be extremely slow. So we're discriminating against newcomers and pale faces. Because more pale faces will come. Okay? There's one right here, replacing the other one. Okay? You see that? So that's why the 10,000 number is a joke. Okay? It's really a joke of a number. I'm thinking 1 million, but 1 million is within reach, let me tell you. But hallelujah, yeah. See, so that's why I'm committing to expanding our Dharma so that we can be of service to more people. Before, I would only limit to the people who can cross the legs and discourage those who cannot cross the legs from coming. Now those people who can cross the legs are getting old. They can't cross the legs anymore. Do I throw them out? Okay? Yeah. Anyway. So, yeah, don't you dare criticize me on the 10,000 number. It makes sense. Okay? And we're learning. Okay? How do we get there again? We gossip. That's all we do. Yes, 5.
Thank you, Master. Somehow that came from discussing the secret Dharma teaching method.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Comments? Okay, very good. So again, I don't understand why there had to be secret Dharma. I see the unfixed is the most obvious one. Unfixed is that we don't discriminate. Okay, yeah. But secret Dharma, I don't understand why you want to keep one group from knowing what the other groups are getting. Why? Anyone gets it? I don't get it. Yes, 3. Can you think of a reason why a teacher would want to do that? A teacher like the Buddha would want to do that?
So what you just explained is, you said about the secret Dharma, you don't understand why.
Secret teaching.
What the teaching itself, how that help others. I mean, if I try to make something out of it, I think it's more like Asian versus American way, in a way. Because in Asian culture, you're not supposed to know what the other person's level.
Boy, you are racist. That's endorsing racism. We cannot officially do that.
But I'm your disciple, Master.
Oh, yeah, we're the same. Both racist.
And when we open up, isn't that more like American style, American culture? Learn from each other?
Yeah, and maybe you have a point there. Okay, my style is that maybe I'm too Americanized. We don't care. Okay, why do you have? It's so hard to explain things already. Why do we want to make sure this person gets it and the other person doesn't? To me, that doesn't make sense. It's extra energy for what? It has discrimination. That's why in my mind, it doesn't jive in my mind. Why would you want to discriminate against anyone at all? That's nonsense. Yes, 5.
Thank you, Master. I guess just from reading what the commentary says, I have a slightly different take. I'm not reading it as discrimination. It's kind of like, I don't think obliviousness is the right word, but excuse me for a second. In the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, there's this animal called a babblefish. And when the human travels into the galaxy and encounters all of these beings, he doesn't speak their language, he can put this little babblefish in his ear, and then he can understand what they're saying. My takeaway here is that the secret teaching method is some kind of Buddhist babblefish. Whether you know what you're saying is helping the other person, or whether you know what they're saying back to you is helping, there's a substance, like a babblefish, that is still helping cultivation happen.
Maybe you have a point there. Maybe it's not necessarily intentional. Okay? But then, if it's not intentional, then shouldn't the teacher make sure that there's no discrimination, that it happens naturally?
Well, speaking from my own personal experience, when I first started attending your lectures, I had absolutely no idea what you were saying most of the time. And when I would try to respond to some of the concepts that were being discussed, I promise most people didn't know what I was saying, but I still benefited. So I feel like I've experienced this with or without discrimination. I really like it.
What I'm trying to tell you is from the teacher perspective, that if the teacher speaks the Dharma, is to help everyone. It should not be such that if I say something, I'm perfectly happy that you get it and the other person doesn't. To me, that doesn't make sense. There's no discrimination in my mind as to, when I say this, I expect she to get it and not the other person. Okay? That's nonsense. To me, then, I fail my job as a teacher. As a teacher, I should avoid having secret teachings. Yes, Colombia.
Thank you, Master. Maybe that teacher was trying to train some possible new teachers, and that's why he was giving a specific type of teaching to them, because maybe the others didn't have that potential to understand that.
Yeah, but he said, I'm going to teach it for you. So therefore, there's nothing wrong with this person who hears, who listens to it, say, okay, so he's getting some teaching for himself, not for me. Why do you have to keep it a secret? Yes, 5.
Master, this is from YouTube, from Lyle. And, she says, I think everyone's level is different, so if you give someone a certain teaching, and if it's revealed to everyone, some might try to apply the teaching to him herself, which is actually not suitable for them. If I were a teacher and if I can see the student's characters very clearly, then I could decide what kind of teaching she needs to be exposed to or not. Maybe the secret teaching refers to this point, so maybe the secret Dharma is for a lower level student. I don't know, just a thought occurred to me. Thank you.
Very good. Good point. Excellent point. Any other comments? You want to have a secret teaching? Yes, go first. Oh,
Amitofo Master.
Yeah.
So maybe the teacher decides to make it secret, so the people that they don't understand it, they have like a goal, so they have to improve in order to understand it. So it's like they are encouraged to improve.
Okay. Anyone else? Yes, 5.
Master, I feel that in Buddhism, for instance, in Shangama Sutra, there's a lot of teachings that will afflict a lot of the just normal people. So in those cases, it may be of best interest to keep it secret from those people that will be afflicted by such knowledge.
Right. Okay. Good points. Okay. I'm glad that you brought up this angle. Sometimes I've been doing this, but now I realize now it should be called secret as well. Because sometimes the teaching method has to be secret because the other person not knowing about it is safer for them. So it's intentional. Sometimes you say something, but it's meant for that person, but the other listeners don't get it. And that's, at that time right there, it's that secret teaching method. Yeah, I use it a few times. So I remember now. Yes, 5.
It's from Jim G. Was the mind-to-mind seal transference from 5th to 6th patriarch as secret teaching?
Yes, it is. Thank you. Good point. Okay. Very good. You see, I learned from you tonight. Very good. Excellent. Moving on. 662. The meaning is established by this master in the extent of their principles are perfectly complete.
此诗立意，理智原备。
Okay. Very good. Good discussion, everyone. Thank you. You see, you're smarter than I am. Here, Master Jingliang says he agrees with Master Chucha. Master Chucha is very, very wise. So that's why in the future, if you have a chance, see, you learn, you want to learn Buddhism, you want to select the great teachers and not waste your time on the not as good teachers. Okay? And that's my attitude. So Master Ching Liang endorses Master Chucha's teachings as very good, very profound. So in the future, when you guys have a chance to learn on your own time, to study Buddhism, you may want Buddhist principles, may want to consider Master Chucha's teachings. Okay? That's my attitude. I want to go for the big names. I don't go for the small ones because I learned too much from the small ones. I ended up throwing them in the garbage cans. It's a waste of my time. Okay? I know a lot of in the past, a lot of good teachers tried to help me. It's like Master Hsuan disciples. Some of them tried to help me. But I ended up throwing them in the garbage cans because it's not good enough. Okay? 664. Only with the name of the three stores teaching does there seem to be a slight overlapping, because the other three teachings also have the three.
但三藏教名义四小难，已于三教亦有三故。
665. So basically, the gist of it is as, because remember the four teachings are the three stores, that's Hinayana teaching, the connective teaching which is the bridge, to the separate teaching which is for you to become enlightened, and then perfect teaching is for you to become a Buddha. Can you see the difference between enlightenment and Buddha? Okay? Enlightenment has many gradations, and the highest level is Buddha. So that's why the Buddha's teaching is called perfect teaching, for you to become a Buddha. Separate teaching is for you to become enlightened. Okay? And connective teaching is between Hinayana and Mahayana. So far, so good, the four teachings. Okay? So the three stores is Hinayana. So he's basically saying there, Hinayana teachings, of course, clearly, Hinayana teachings is the foundation, the starting point of all Buddhist teachings. Therefore, all the other three teachings, connective teaching, separate teaching, and perfect teaching, of course, will have to contain Hinayana teaching. Not simply part of it, contains all of it as well. If you look at the connective teaching, this is why I disagree with him in theory. If you look at connective teaching, it contains Hinayana teaching. Separate teaching contains Hinayana teaching. Perfect teaching contains Hinayana teaching. Why? Because it's a foundation of all teachings. Okay? Questions, comments? Okay, 666. He did it that way because wisdom shastra mainly calls a small vehicle the three stores.
所以尔者良以智论之中多名小圣为三藏故。
Okay, 667. This is an example of planting the seeds of great wisdom for you. When I first started, I heard about gradual and sudden teaching piqued my interest right away. Never was interested in unfixed and secret teaching. And after I started teaching, I realized I was doing all four. Now they reminded me. Okay, the all four methods of teaching are just natural way of teaching. Okay? Naturally. Okay? And so Master Ching Liang here, he says, so even though I heard a long time ago, I didn't understand why there's four types of classification of Buddha teaching and four methods of delivering the teaching. I just heard it as 8 teachings, and I never understood it. I didn't realize that Master Hsuan explained it in the prologue here. That was not translated. It was not widely circulated because it turns people off. Okay, you read the first few pages, this is not for me. Okay, but do you see? But because I read through it once, 20 years ago, those seats there, this is important. Even though I didn't understand much, but in the back of my mind, I was not happy. I said, if my master taught this to my generation, it's for a purpose. If I am to try to share his teachings, if I don't understand this prologue thing, then I fail my teacher in trying to share his teachings for the next generation. Okay, so I fail him. So that's why in the back of my mind, I was not happy with myself. And that seeds of discontent right there is what propelled me to say, I will help you. When I started teaching, I will help you build your foundation. Eventually, when conditions are appropriate, are ripe, I will start explaining the Avatamsaka Sutra to you. When I said that, when I was planning that, I wasn't sure I'd be able to explain it to you. Because, I said it because I said, what the heck? We poor, we small, no one takes it seriously. It might as well sound big. Okay? My point here is that it's about the seeds. You see, in the back of my mind, there's a seed implanted there about Avatamsaka Sutra teachings I didn't understand. You see that? It's for you as well. You may not understand it right now, but the seeds are there. And some of you are saying, if such a great thing I don't get it, then I hope someday I will get it. And that's why it's so important to plant the seeds now, because they will mature in the future for you. Like mine was planted 20 years ago. Now they're coming to fruition. They're maturing. Got that? This is why don't laugh at 10,000. Those 10,000 people, they tune in, they tune out right away after 1 or 2 seconds, 1 or 2 minutes. That's the average, right, for 10,000 people? Huh? For 10 minutes, the seeds are planted in them. That's good enough for us, folks. All right. And so now going back to 667 commentary slide, Master Ching Liang here, he says, when it comes to think of it, the reason I feel that the great teacher Master Chucha was using the term 3 stores because he's of these various sutras that the other great Bodhisattvas wrote to explain Buddhism. So in this one great Shastra wisdom here, again, Shastra wisdom, great wisdom Shastra, which is a very highly revered creation or writing of a great Bodhisattva, okay? And so it has tremendous wisdom, high-level wisdom in Buddhism. In Great Wisdom Shastra, it mentioned the word the 3 stores as when they refer to the small vehicle. 668, and because the accomplishment of truth Shastra itself says, I now wish to speak the actual meaning within the 3 stores.
诚实论中亦自说云：我今欲说3藏中10义故。
Okay, 669. Again, he quoted another Shastra. Shastras, for you who forgot or don't know, Shastras are actually commentaries prepared by the Bodhisattvas because the Buddhist teaching is so profound that we know that you cannot possibly understand it right off the bat. So that's why after Buddha's was done, when he taught to a lot of people, he taught to a lot of bodhisattvas. Those bodhisattvas, in order to show the gratitude, express the gratitude to the teacher, to the Buddha, because they got so much out of the teachings that they came back to our world and made commentaries on what the Buddha's teaching were about, in the form of shastras. Okay, and so these shastras are very, very useful creations from the bodhisattvas to help us understand Buddhism at a deeper level than we would be able to do ourselves. Okay, so that's why he quoted another shastra called the Accomplishment of Truth Shastra, which also used the term three stores. That's why Master Chucha, based on that, and used the word three stores for the Hinayana teaching. So far, so good. It gets interesting as I've been preparing this. I have a chance to look into Master Hsuan-Hua's explanation. And I realize he taught a lot of good stuff that was not circulated at all, unfortunately. And my people, my generation, are frightened of this. I'm scared too, okay, of touching this. Too hot to handle. Okay, everyone? Okay, so these are perspectives from a global, an overview of Buddhism that you don't need to understand. I just need you to hear of it, and then when it's your time, you will be able to know where to look and what to look for. Yes, 3.
Thank you, Master. This makes me think of the opportunity that we had to share the relics on a large scale on that TV show. You know, when you think about it, the unexplained, on what on the History Channel. Yeah, which episode? Series 5, episode 10. Series 5, episode 10. Should we say it again? But the thing is that when we did that was so amazing. Honestly, there was so much talk. We should not do it, etc. And you made such a really good point as to why we should.
Who made it? I didn't want to do it.
You made a really good point. You did.
I did?
You did, Master. You said that this show goes into, globally, 1 million homes. And just the thought that the Buddha's relics can be shown in all these homes, in their living room, is just so amazing.
Yeah.
And that segment is what, 7 minutes long.
Yeah.
That is just such a gift.
Yeah, that's incredible.
That spread all over the world.
Yeah, that's incredible too, because the first time as well is for a relic exhibit. We were at Lu Mountain Temple, a tiny, tiny temple, and then we decided to put on a show, and I still remember this. An ex-anchor woman of CBS and KKL decided to do a piece on it for 2 minutes.
Right.
Lina Nguyen. Okay? And somehow a lot of people came and took it seriously.
Yeah.
And that's a turning point for us as well. And then other news outlets picked it up, and then ABC came, NBC came.
Then we had Associated
AP
Press,
came, yeah.
Reuters.
Yeah.
It really got to be big.
And now History Channel, after 10 years. Yeah.
So it's just amazing to think that we've had that reach already.
Yeah.
It's really overwhelming in a way.
Yeah, the seeds are planted. That's all we have to do. Plant the seeds first. It will take care of itself. Eventually, naturally.
Yeah. Thank you, Master.
Okay, thank you, everyone. You did good. By the way, now I'm proud to tell you, relics things are driven by our fearless old abbot at Jewel Mountain Temple, Master Xe. And he has a support cast, a very extensive supporting cast of people in Korea, people at Wei Mountain Temple, and people at DTT as well. Okay? Northern, Southern California, and Seoul, Korea. Okay? Good job, all of you. Thank you. Thank you very much. And sometimes, people who came to our relics, they walk in, monks and nuns and lay people, they say, wow, the energy is something else. So it's something real there for them. And of course, others also saw light and, responses left and right. So that's good enough for us. Yes, 5.
Thank you, Master. And just to follow up on that point, the experiences people have, I worked, the crew that filmed for the History Channel for Season 5, Episode 10 that featured the relics from Wei Mountain Temple, they worked probably a 12-hour day, very close to 12 hours. And I've worked in media entertainment a lot. When we offered them the opportunity to spend some time with the relics after their shoot, they went ahead and finished their day, and 99 times out of 100, when a crew goes home, unless you're offering them pizza, they're not coming back. We offered no pizza, and they still came back, and they spent time with the relics on their own time after the shoot. And it's experiences like that just... I don't have the words to describe giving people the opportunity to plant those seeds. It's just so wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, and also many of you pitched in and made it so much easier for them to do their jobs. And they appreciate it. Okay? That's what you are, the faces of Mahayana. That's all we want. We want people who come in contact with us, look at us as real people and caring people. That's it. That's important to us. We're not looking for donations or recognition, whatever. Just personally, when you become, others come into contact with you, they find a real human being. That's what I'm proud of. That's all. That's all that matters to us. They understand it or not, doesn't matter what we stand for. Yes, 3.
Just add to what you said about those crews. I think I remember that someone offered them if they want to receive blessing from the relics. They all want it after 12 hours long day.
Yeah.
And then also just for generally relic is just amazing because it goes beyond religions. It really opens to everyone. We could just anyone or everyone could come and meet with the Buddha's relics. So it is really beautiful.
Yeah. Good job, guys. Good job. Thank you. All right. If someone just give me a few temples, I'd be happier. So talk, man. Just kidding. All right, everyone. Anyone else? Okay. Yes, Colombia. 5.
Thank you, Master. So we missed the opportunity of Peter saying, please like and subscribe on those videos on the History Channel.
Okay, please subscribe to Peter's channel. 670, you have 10 minutes. The first, by contrast with the doctors of old precepts, samadhi and wisdom, sets up these three matters as being distantly dissimilar, and in that it differs from the latter three teachings.
初，对就医界定会故，立此三事，调然不同，义后三教。
670, I read this, what is talking about? Isn't that great? Master Shiva took the time to explain this to us. It's so cool. He says, 671, he says, doctors of old. And doctors of old refers to the externalist teachings, the non-Buddhist teachings. Murali's Hindu teachers. It's called old doctors. Why? Because all these spiritual teachers actually should be considered as spiritual doctors. They provide healing to your soul. They're important. You can laugh all you want, but they're there. They've been helping a lot of people for all these thousands of years. You cannot discount them as irrelevant, okay? They're important. And so it's no point in denying their usefulness. He says, they have the doctors of old, the other teachers, the teachers before the Buddha came, okay? They taught also about precepts, samadhi, and wisdom. That's a fact, and they're useful. So they built a foundation already of precepts, samadhi, and wisdom, and the Buddha came and refined them so that you get a lot more out of it than before. You see, Buddhism, we embrace the other teachers. We're not scared of the competition at all. We use what's good. We build upon the good stuff. Okay? So I hope you open your heart and embrace the fact that people might label us as bitter, as opportunists, and so forth. But Buddhism, the spirit of Buddhist teaching is to share the goodness and build upon the goodness. We don't have to start from square one again. Okay? So in what the Buddha did is when the people came to learn from him, the Buddha says, what you learn about the rules of morality there, that's very good. And that's just, you can improve upon this. You can be happier if you observe the precepts from a Buddhist perspective, which is a little bit more stringent than before. Okay? And so that's what the Buddha did. He didn't have to build from scratch at all. So that's why Buddhas back then, all the Buddhas, always embraced the non-Buddhist teachings. We don't feel threatened at all. Very much like I don't feel threatened by the Chinese teachings now that we're American. Okay? And so he says that they taught about precept, samadhi, and wisdom. However, they didn't quite understand proper precept, proper samadhi, proper wisdom. What they taught is actually a mix between deviant and proper, because their wisdom is not ultimate yet. So that's why they understand of like halfway, let's say, just to be generous. Okay, they understand halfway. So, but is it useful? You see? So they didn't quite distinguish between this is black, which is deviant, and white, which is proper. What about yellow? Okay? So in Buddhism, we spell out for you what's deviant versus what's proper precepts that the doctors of old didn't have before. Okay? And because of that, the followers of the Buddha reached new heights. Uh, 672. So samadhi refers to, in the Buddhists, okay, these are delineations of your levels of accomplishments, concentration. Okay, it's all measurable for us. The 4 dhyanas, in the form realm, 4 stations of emptiness in the formless realm, 9 successive stages of samadhi that is documented in the Shrangama Sutra. Okay, again, it's a reference point for you. You want to go into more advanced samadhi studies for samadhis. You should go to this Bible of us, Shrangama Sutra. This is the most comprehensive document for the studies of samadhis. And you should remember this funny name, Shrangama Sutra. Okay? And what about proper wisdom in Buddhism? And again, because the Buddha explained this to his earlier followers in India, he explained about you have to watch out for your existing attachments to a body of the extremes, that extreme views that my colleagues, my peers have been teaching you. And that's why you're stuck all these years, all this time. And the way to unstuck yourself is to be aware of the erroneous views of the body and views of permanence, views of nihilism, and so forth. Okay? And so the externalists don't have complete wisdom yet. Their wisdom is not profound yet. That's why they don't understand this universal law called cause and effect, which takes tremendous vision and wisdom to be able to see it, to formulate it, and describe it. Buddhas did not make this law as a law of the universe. He simply described it. Okay? And so in India, the Indian teachers back then, they taught, some of them are deviant, they taught they are wrong, so wrong, they talk about no purity, that's nihilism, everything is empty anyways, no defilement, okay? And they behave strangely. They have a limited amount of bliss and pleasure, but very, very limited, because they stop themselves. That's why the non-Buddhists don't go very far, because they stop themselves. It's not because of anyone's fault. Okay? We stop ourselves, not just them. You, Buddhists, also tend to stop yourself. It's a natural tendency. All right? Well. And so, oh my God, there's more. Okay. Anyway, let's try to finish this today. This slide 673. And so there's 3 matters here, and it's basically he's 3, 2, whatever he wants to talk about is 3 is connective, separate, and perfect doctrines, and that's why they call them. That's why they use these. This is the meaning of this part of the text. Okay, don't worry about it. I'm not horribly worried about you understanding everything. Okay, just be aware of it. Be aware of it. Know about it. Hear about it, and that's good enough for now. Okay, this is the seeds for future reference for all of you here on subscribers to YouTube channel and non-subscribers. Okay, everyone? Okay, very good. We stop here tonight. Thank you all so much for joining us.